Have you got a stack of 6x6 pattern paper just waiting to be used? I designed a custom One Sheet Wonder template that turns one 6x6 sheet into 4 unique cards with 0 waste. In today's video, I'll walk you through the simple cutting layout and show you how each piece becomes a different card design. Plus, I'll be offering this free downloadable PDF with the cutting guide and layout options so you can follow along and make your own set of cards. Hey everyone, it's Lean from ColoradoLean.com. Welcome back to the craft room. For today's project, I'm going to be using this fun piece of pattern paper from the Altenew Sweet Moments paper pack. Let's go ahead and bring in our Tim Holtz and Tonic Studios paper trimmer. And the first thing we need to do is cut our pattern paper in half. So we have 2 columns that are 3 inches wide by 6 inches long. With our first piece, we now need to cut this in half at 3 inches. And then we will take one of the squares and trim them into 1.5 by 1.5 inch squares. Now with our second column, we need to cut this at 4 inches. So we have one piece that is 3 inches by 4 inches and 3 inches by 2 inches. And then we will cut each into 1 inch columns. We have all of our pattern paper cut, and to make things go a little bit faster, I've already cut my mats for card number 1. These are cut to 1 3/4 inch square, and we need 4 of them. Now at this point, if you wanted, you could place your pattern paper on there and then put that on your card front, and it would be really cute. However, to kind of up it a notch, I'm going to use my crocodile corner chompers from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm going to round opposite corners on all of my pieces with the 1/2 inch side. Just to keep myself straight, I am going to leave this right here because I want to make sure that my points are all in the corner. Now that doesn't really make a difference when it comes to the mats, but it will with the pattern paper. To kind of help keep myself straight, I am going to place my pattern paper on each piece so that when I pick it up, I know exactly which corners need to be cut. And again, for this particular pattern paper, because there is no directional picture, I'm not trying to keep an image together. It doesn't matter all that much. Now I'm going to bring in my art glitter glue and get these glued into place. For my card base today, I am using 110-pound Recollections cardstock in white. This is 8.5 inches long, 5.5 inches tall, and it is scored down the middle at 4 1/4. This is probably one of the trickiest cards for me to put together. When I don't have the camera on, I can do it no problem. With the camera on, this is attempt number 3 to get it correct. So we're going to center this on our card front. And there is going to be a 3/8 of an inch margin at the top and on both sides. So when we put our first piece down, And let's start here in the corner. We are going to place this 3/8 of an inch in, and that will measure 1 3/4 from 0. So I want to make sure I have a point to the fold. And I will slide this over 3/8 of an inch. And then I will let that down into place. Again, I want the point to go to the side of the card. And I will come in 3/8 of an inch from here. Again, that will be at 1 3/4 of an inch on the centering ruler. Or approximately. If it's not exact, that's fine. It is a handmade card, and your recipient is going to love it either way. So now I want to line this up the other direction. And and now the points are going to come down to the lower right-hand corner. And when I line this up, I want my point to be at 1 1/8. And then that will give me approximately the same distance. It might be a little off, but again, that will be fine. So I will line that point up at 1 1/8. And I do want to push my centering ruler down as flat as possible so my card doesn't slip underneath. And I apologize if my head is in the way there. It is definitely not perfect, but like I said, it is fine for me. So today I am going to use a number of different stamps from the Stampabilities Card Phrases stamp set. And for this card, I am going to use Just Because. I'm going to line up my card in my Mini Misty. And then line up my stamp. And as always, I will be stamping with the Jeannie K Designs Amalgam ink, re-inked in Obsidian Black. And there's our first card. Card number 2 on our One Sheet Wonder is the easiest card you're going to be making today. If you'll recall, our pattern paper was cut to 3 inches by 3 inches, and our mat is cut to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. We are going to line this up on our card. And for card number 2, we will have a 1/2 inch border on the top and the 2 sides. Now all we have to do is figure out which sentiment we're going to use. I think I'm going to go ahead and use Thinking of You. And there's card number 2. Card number 3 on our One Sheet Wonder is another rather simple card. We have our 1 inch by 4 inch pattern paper strips, and our mat is cut to 3 1/2 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches long. And as you can see in our layout here, we're just going to line these strips up. So again, I will bring in my centering ruler. But this time I'm not necessarily going to center them. I'm just going to line that up on the 1/8 inch line. And then this will be 1/8 of an inch approximately from the top and the bottom of our mat. To get the second side, I am just going to flip this over. And again, line this up approximately 1/8 of an inch from the top and bottom. Now, to do my best to get the center lined up, I'm going to turn my panel, line up my card. And I did pretty well this time. It's lined up fairly even. And then I'm going to put the glue on here and then attach it approximately 1/8 of an inch from both sides. I am going to bring in another card panel. And this again will be at 3/8 of an inch from the top and the two sides. This time I'm going to use the Get Well Soon sentiment. So I will get that lined up in my Mini Misty and get it stamped. And there is card number 3. Card number 4 on our One Sheet Wonder, we have 3 strips that are 1 inch by 2 inch. Our mats are 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. As you can see here in our little layout design, there is a card mat on here. Now I have decided to emboss a panel with the Cuttlebug embossing folder. This is one of the embossing folders from the Oriental, I think it's called the Oriental embossing folder set. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue these to the mat. This panel is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So when we line this up, our columns will be 7/8 of an inch from the top of the panel. And the columns on the left and the right side will be 1/2 an inch in. And to place our center panel, we are going to line this up approximately 5/8 of an inch on each side of 0. All right, and there is our front panel. For this sentiment, I'm going to use Just For You. I did cut my sentiment awfully close. And that's because I want to make sure that we can still see this fun pattern paper. Now there are different ways that I could do this. I could just lay that on there like that. But I also cut a mat for that as well with a really thin border. So let me go ahead and glue that on there. Okay, now we can lay this on here and figure out where we want it. We could put it in the center. We could put it up on the side. And I think I'm just going to put it right there in the center. Before I do that, I do want to put this onto my card base because I think I'm going to pop my sentiment up just a little bit. So because I have the embossed background, I am going to use Scor-tape and art glitter glue. I am using thin 3D foam squares. This is from Scrapbook Adhesives. I really like these. It gives you a nice lift. So I'll take the covers off and put a little bit of art glitter glue to give me the wiggle room that I need. And I will line it up like that. And there is card number 4. Here are the 4 finished cards created using my 6x6 One Sheet Wonder template. I also want to show you another set of cards that I made with another set of pattern paper. The stamp set I used for these Christmas cards is one that I received from my cousin when she was destashing. And the poinsettia flower is the Spellbinders Layered Poinsettia die set that I borrowed from my sister. Thank you so much, Sissy. I'm curious, have you ever used a One Sheet Wonder template before? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear if you've tried one or if this could be your first time seeing how it works. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget you can download this free PDF cutting and layout guide. Just check the description below or head on over to the corresponding blog post at coloradolean.com. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, share it with a crafty friend, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Until then, have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.